What is your best truth or dare experience? I'm so sad I'm late to the party here and this is gonna end up 6 feet under. But anyway, a guy's sleepover when we were maybe in junior high. Lame as hell, but we decide to play. There's not much you can do without any girls there, so our dares had to get a little creative. One guy gets dared to stick his dick in the vacuum cleaner. No way he's doing it in front of us, so we let him go into a nearby room. We hear vroom followed by oh man. That feels so weird. We all find it hilarious, so that becomes the go-to dare for everyone else. Several more guys venture into the other room. Same thing happens. Vroom followed by various exclamations of wonder and surprise. Then it's Doug's turn. He gets up, walks into the other room, a brief pause, and vroom more. How do you turn it off? The host had to run into the other room to shut down the vacuum and rescue poor Doug's wiener from the mouth of the snarling beast while he continues screaming in mortal terror. Turns out he was the only one who actually did it, or at least no one else would admit after that they did it for real. In the end, we only had evidence on poor Doug, and no, he never managed to live it down and eventually left the school. I wasn't participating, but there was one weird night when one of my daughters had a bunch of friends over. My wife and I were sitting downstairs while they were up in her room apparently playing truth or dare. Over the course of a couple hours we experienced some pretty weird stuff. Two of my daughter's friends came running downstairs and started twerking before running off again. My daughter came down and said, "Mommy, Daddy, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant because I'm a..." Later we heard a splash outside by the pool, and a minute later a couple girls come running into the house wrapped in towels and dripping wet. I had to go tell them to not jump out the window anymore, and that pretty much stopped the shenanigans. One time I was dared to kiss this girl and I passed because I was in a long-going relationship with a girl I really love. 3 years, and so I did this instead. I poured really hard rum on my hand and lit it. I had to keep it lit for as long as I could. Once it got too hot to handle I had to put it out. Part of the dare though was to put it out with the watermelon next to us. So I proceeded to punch it open with my flaming fist and stick my hand in it for 3 long annoying sticky hours. Okay, so I started dating this girl in the summer. When fall came around, she had to go back to college in the next state over. I drove up to her every weekend to see her for the weekend. 3+ hour drive each way, but whatever. One weekend night, we are getting drunk with her roommates and some other friends she wanted to introduce me to. All girls. They decide they want to play truth or dare. I'm thinking this is a situation that is going to lead to me being the mayor of Awesome City. Unfortunately, that would not happen. The game goes around and around for a while and everything is starting to heat up. They go from asking each other to do things that are funny, to a little over the top, and then down to things that are sexual. Right in the warm-up phase of the latter topic, someone asks my then GF what's your number, how many guys, and she instinctually replies without hesitation 26. My mouth goes from a smile from having a great time and liking where the game is going, to completely slack-jawed. She had told me I was number 3. I didn't even need to do anything other than genuinely react, because every girl in the room looked at my face after she laughed and answered the question and saw and knew they had been a lie exposed. A girl lie. A lie that almost never sees the light of day, but it was there for all to have a short-engasm over. I found out one of my cousins used to watch and pet me in my sleep, dreaming for some kind of eventual romantic relationship. On top of all this, there were a number of creepy little things she liked to do as I slumbered blissfully away. The worst part is after someone jokingly mentioned the idea of cousins having a relationship in Japan being a socially acceptable thing, she legitimately asked, "Will you move to Japan with me?" Mine isn't all that crazy or anything. When I was about 11 or 12, a big group of my brother's friends were over. Mix of guys and girls. My brother is a couple years older, so about 13 or 14. Okay, so they start playing truth or dare. Of course it starts out pretty boring, with most people too scared to choose dare. The first dare was to kiss, of course. The girl was all for it, but the guy was really scared for some reason. I wasn't really participating, more just chilling on the bed, playing Game Boy, I think. I don't remember who it was, but someone decided to say, "Hey, you should just show him on MH337. Luckily, the girl was okay with it. and of course I am okay with it. So she kisses me and all is good. So after this the dares start to pick up, most of them being kisses, with who being the practice dummy me. That night I kissed about 7 girls and touched boob. It was a glorious night. We were on our way to Hershey Park for the 8th grade class trip. All the cool kids sat in the back of the bus. Somehow I got a seat back there too. It began as a silly middle school game of truth or dare until this girl was dared to give some dude head for 2 minutes, and then, a few turns later, she was dared to do it again to a different boy. I was an innocent cream puff Casper milk toast, having never seen anything like this outside of, and I was in shock. Not super risque, but it gave her the funniest nickname for the next 4 years in high school. Doubleheader. Well, I found out from a game of truth or dare a girl I truly had no romantic interest in was super into me. The air of expectation after that came out for me to do something or make a move was very disturbing for me. In the end, I didn't do anything. Her friends asked what was up, and I told them the truth and I broke her heart. I felt bad, but we played it at a family gathering once. It was my mom's turn, and being elderly she opted for a truth for fear of her dare being physically rigorous. I laughed and said, okay, tell us a truth. She responded, you were a late term abortion that survived. We don't play truth or dare at family gatherings anymore. Not me, but my older brother was at a college party with his girlfriend a couple of years ago. Sometime through the party, she disappeared for like an hour. When she finally came back with her friend, she was obviously super drunk, and they started playing truth or dare. This was at a college dorm, and after a while his GF got the question, have you ever had sex with the same sex? She and her friend then started laughing, and they said yes. The hour she was gone, she had sex with her best friend. She was a girl, and yes, she and my brother are still together, but they never bring it up. Haven't actually learned anything bad from truth or dare, so I'll share best. Hottest girl we were playing with got dared to kiss the hottest guy playing, and she kissed me. Major confidence boost for a high school kid with self-image problems. In high school, me and a group of my good friends used to go and party at our friend Sam's house when her older brother threw parties for his college friends. There were chill gatherings and typically our group would end up sleeping in a tent in the backyard. Sam lived on a golf course and had a nice sized backyard. Well, we had done this a few times and our very tight group of friends is circled up in the downstairs room and in a share everything mood. As we start prodding each other, we all discovered that as about 8 of us were sleeping in a tent together, that Lisa was masturbating in the corner because her boyfriend wouldn't finish her off because she was making too much noise. That night I learned way too much about all my high school friends' sex lives. When I was in around 8th grade, my friends and I used to play truth or dare with my sister and her friends who were just a grade below us. We'd play strip truth or dare, meaning if you didn't do a dare you had to shed layers. This would lead to some pretty hardcore dares that were actually performed by the end of the night. This one girl, I had a crush on her at the time, definitely took the cake in most outrageous dare. She was stripped to just underwear and any dare she didn't do meant permanent nudity for the rest of the night. Naturally, me and my buddy dared her to stick a ping pong paddle up her ass. Needless to say, we never used that paddle after that. TLDR. During a strip truth or dare session, girl takes ping pong paddle up the while in a hot tub with 3 chicks. I ended up diving for an ice cube between this girl's DD breasts and had to get it before it melted. Mission accomplished. Diving. Face mouth only. No hands. Edit. To all those saying I should have taken my time blah blah. I take my truth or dare very ducking seriously. And to the naysayers, I can assure you, no one lies on the internet. No one. I didn't do this, but a classmate of mine did. We were on a class trip to Berlin. When it got late we started drinking and began to play truth or dare. So a girl asked a friend of mine to strip down butt naked and run across the hall at the hotel we were staying at. Needless to say, we needed a new hotel the next morning. I was dared to keep 2 ice cubes in my panties until they melted. Well, I shifted, and one of the ice cubes went up inside my vagina. You know how, sometimes, if you lick a really cold ice cube, it will stick to your tongue, and you end up tearing your tongue a bit. I was raw for a week.